Welcome to TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. Week 1 starts with a bang. The Kansas City Chiefs are coming to Jacksonville. We find out if the Jaguars are up to the challenge.
You know, he's going to be a challenge for us, but one that we're ready for, and now we're excited to go up against.
We're in the film room highlighting a one-on-one matchup. Plus, we celebrate a tight end who could block like an offensive lineman. All that and more ahead on Jaguars Weekend.
This is TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. TIAA Bank, created to serve, built to perform. And Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save.
We've had some good prep. You know, not only that, you know, your first couple opponents, you always work in the spring too. So, and I think that's very, very common around the league. So, you know, we've had plenty of prep. The day off from the hurricane is not going to be an excuse of how we play or don't play well.
Week 1 didn't go according to plan. Despite this week's challenges, the Jaguars have no choice but to be ready for Sunday. Hello and welcome to TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. I'm Ashlyn Sullivan. The Jaguars felt the impact of Hurricane Dorian, stepping away from the building as Dorian kissed the first coast. The storm has passed. Now the Jaguars will have to handle the storm of excitement that follows Patrick Mahomes. There are no excuses in this league. The Jaguars lost a day of practice due to Hurricane Dorian and have been playing catch-up to get ready for Sunday. Some say that could be a disadvantage. This locker room disagrees.
We came back today, it felt like we didn't miss a beat. So that's the biggest thing, like our reaction of having them couple of days off from the storm, and we came back very focused.
The Jaguars are used to playing with a chip on their shoulder. They are fully confident they have what it takes to beat the Chiefs, but they aren't taking their opponent lightly.
And we just know that we have to be on our P's and Q's for everything because this is a well-coached football team and they always play the game, with confidence. And so we got to really be on everything, every single piece of information that we can take. We need to take it and we need to just execute.
The biggest question on Sunday is, can the Jaguars defense slow down the Chiefs' Pro Bowl caliber offense? Todd Wash will earn his paycheck this week.
They're fast at every position. You know, if one guy takes a play off, it's probably going to be an explosive play. So we got to do everything we can to keep the ball in front of us and, hopefully make them earn everything that they can get.
Much more football to talk about as we bring in Brian Sexton and John Ogier. It's been a kind of an awkward week with this hurricane. How do you think that's going to impact the game on Sunday, John?
Well, I think that's a major storyline. All this week, it kept taking me a day or two to realize that it's really football season. It hasn't felt like it until, I guess, the last couple of days. So how do the players handle that? I don't think it'll be a huge issue, but there's a pattern to the NFL week. And there's a schedule, there's a body clock, and I think it will be interesting to see how they respond to having been off and it being the weirdest opening week I can remember.
We don't have much room here, or I would practice the squat thrust that Doug was talking about on Monday, way back on Monday,
right.
Deep knee bends and squat thrusts.
You did some.
Well, I got tired of sitting on the couch.
I got you.
The point.
He's ready.
If you reach the point, if the players reach the point where they got tired of sitting on the couch and they got up and they stretched and they moved around a little bit during those 2 days, I think they'll be fine. John's right. There is a sort of a biorhythm that goes through the course of an NFL week. You've been around long enough. You know how that feels. And, this is opening week, and it's the 25th season. There should be a lot of energy in the building. Wait and see where it is.
Yeah, definitely routine a little shifted, that's for sure.
Definitely.
So it's one of the most talented units in the league on Sunday going against each other. You have the Kansas City offense versus the Jaguars defense. Who prevails?
Well, I think the Jaguars defense has to break serve a lot, to borrow a tennis term. I think the Chiefs are going to get points. Jaguars defense needs to set up point opportunities. I think they need to get one defensive touchdown on their own and set up maybe 10 or 13 points for the offense. And at that point, the offense needs to do what it hasn't done in the past, take advantage of those opportunities. That's the formula that I see for the Jaguars winning.
Well, last year, the Jaguars played pretty well on defense. Offense obviously turned the ball over 4 times. Those Chiefs only scored 2 touchdowns and 3 field goals. The extra touchdown came on a pick 6, really the game-changing touchdown at the end of the first half. So I think the Jaguars can hold them to below 25 points. They have to. 21 straight games with 25 or more points. If they get to 25, they win. Chiefs get to 25. Jags have to hold them down.
And finally, Nick Foles. We talked about him all preseason long. What should we expect from him on Sunday? What would be a successful game from him?
A win. I mean, and
Well, yeah.
that's a little easy, but I don't think you're going to see Drew Brees all over the air attack. I don't think that's what they want to be. You need from him consistency. I think you need from him no turnovers, or maybe, you'll keep it to one turnover. Prevent the disaster and prevent the long stretches of offensive inconsistency. I think he can do that. I don't think he's going to be a Pro Bowler, but if he gives you that confidence that you can go out and take advantage of an opportunity when you get it, that's what he can give him.
So I'm going to look at two numbers. I'm going to look at third down conversions, right? Because the Jags need to keep the offense on the field. And the other one I'm going to look at is red zone conversion, touchdowns, not field goals.
Definitely going to be exciting to see him on the field, regardless, though.
Without a doubt.
Much more to come on Jaguars Weekend. Stay tuned. Still to come on TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. Kansas City's roster is full of star power. The Jaguars will need to slow them down. Jeff Lageman is in the film room, breaking down a matchup between Jalen Ramsey and Tyreke Hill worth watching. Plus, we share the 17th best Jaguar of all time.
I didn't mean it to be rude by saying don't ask me about last year, but it's true. It's a different year, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's different. Their team is different. Our team is different. So last year, to be honest, doesn't matter at all. It's all about what's going to go down on Sunday.
The Kings of the AFC West are the talk of the NFL. They're the favorite on Sunday, but that doesn't bother this locker room. Welcome back to TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. Chiefs wide receiver Tyreke Hill is one of the most explosive and tricky players to cover in the league. One misstep can lead to a big mistake with Hill's athletic ability. Todd Wash announced Jalen Ramsey will be covering Tyreke Hill. Jeff Lageman previews that matchup in the Cadillac film room.
Boy, Doug, you guys have a great challenge this week in the Kansas City Chiefs. They've got a lot of explosive weapons and a great young quarterback, but Tyreke Hill is a guy that is so dynamic in so many different ways.
He really is. I mean, you look around the league and he's probably the fastest football player on the field. And I think that creates a lot of challenges, and they do a hell of a job, finding different ways to get him the ball.
And here he is at the slot at the top, and a little fake pass, little toss reverse. And this is against you guys last year. It comes back because there's a hold right here at the bottom of the screen against Boye, but it just shows how fast that he is and how dynamic he is.
It's funny, you can watch him here, how he uses his blocks, and obviously the speed and the burst, and people, he's not a very big target, so it's difficult to tackle him, and you've got to get a lot of people around him.
I love the finish there by Marcel on that one. Big man running, man. It's hard to hide that. Here against you guys last year, up at the top of the screen, you guys had talked about Jalen Ramsey following him in a one-on-one situation, and Jalen did a good job with him overall last year, but he got one on him.
He did, and I think that the key here is obviously you want to get your hands on him a little bit earlier, but again it's people look at Tyreke Hill on this, and obviously it's a great play and him putting that window there, but the quarterback here being able to put that ball right exactly where it needs to be, and him catching it in stride and being able to make that play.
You can have the greatest cornerback in the world, but when you have a throw like that, it's hard to defend that. And here against the Chargers last year, he eventually comes out to the wide right side here, and this just goes to show you how speed sometimes nullifies angles, or what you might think is a good angle.
There's no doubt about it. We talk to our players that, even, when he does get the ball in his hands, whether it's on the jet sweeps or reverses or, a slant or down the field, to make sure that we have guys around him to tackle him. And knowing that, we have to do a great job with our angles, and we have to do a great job of bringing him down, knowing that, he'll get his touches, but we don't want to see the big yards after the catch.
And it's not just about Jalen and Tyreke, it's a team effort. Hey, pressure on Mahomes also goes a long way towards nullifying the ability to get a ball.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great challenge for us.
All right, thank you, Doug. Best of luck.
Great. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff. The tight end is the utility player of the offense. He needs to be able to run, catch, and block in order to be considered a complete player. Our 17th best Jaguar of all time had the build of an offensive lineman and the hands like a wide receiver, making him one of the best tight ends this franchise has ever seen.
The Jaguars All 25, presented by Sharpie.
Number 17, Kyle Brady.
He is the biggest rectangle that I've ever seen. So I've always asked him, how could any quarterback miss throwing the football to this gigantic rectangle that would go out for passes all the time as a tight end?
At 6'6" and 278 pounds, it's hard to miss Kyle Brady anywhere, let alone the football field.
At the 20, fires into the end zone. Touchdown, Kyle Brady!
Kyle Brady looked like a guy who was a strong, regular-sized guy that somebody put on the copy machine and put in large. You couldn't cover him. He was too big. Throwing the ball to the Hulk right in the middle of the field. What else are you going to do?
In the pocket, pumps, turns, throws, caught! Kyle Brady, touchdown, Jacksonville!
After starting his career with the New York Jets, Brady signed with the Jaguars in 1999. During his 8 years in Jacksonville, he averaged just 40 catches a season. However, his work in the trenches is what set him apart, and it shouldn't be overlooked.
I think he's the single most underrated player in Jaguars history. You know, it's not just one thing. They want you to do a lot of things at that position.
He had a great couple years here as a pass catcher.
Play action, Brunell looking, fires, Brady! Touchdown! Fires, he's got a man, touchdown! Kyle Brady!
And we can talk about his blocking. He's like an offensive lineman.
Probably the best blocking tight end to ever play the game. Whether it was pass blocking or run blocking, Kyle Brady played tight end like an all-pro offensive tackle.
Brady left Jacksonville following the 2006 season and spent a season with the Patriots. After his playing career was over, he made the River City his home and has shown that he is more than a football player.
He's really kind of a renaissance man as a football player. You know, learned how to fly, went to law school, became a lawyer. You know, he was a lot more than just football.
He busts a lot of stereotypes of professional athletes, has really taken that opportunity as a pro football player as an experience, and now is moving on in his career and is doing big things as well.
He was the perfect football player. He loved the game and he loved life. And he knew when each was important and when each one had to come to the forefront.
He might be the smartest player ever to play on the Jaguars, and I think certainly the most underrated.
Throws, and it is caught! Kyle Brady, touchdown Jacksonville!
Kyle Brady is the 17th best Jaguar of all time.
There's more to come on TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. Up next, we head to the Diamond with the first round draft pick and visit the kitchen with Jajuan Taylor.
Josh's going to be a stud in this league, man. He played well in the preseason, and, I mean, you could just look at him and tell. So, the sky the limit for that kid, and I'm excited for him.
You would never know Josh Allen was a rookie with the way this locker room respects him. Welcome back to TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. First-round draft pick Josh Allen has lived up to the hype during the preseason. There's no question why he was the 7th overall pick in the draft. During the third preseason game, he showed how athletic he can be. He also has proven he can throw a mean slider. This Baptist Health feature brings us to the baseball diamond with the rookie.
It's your boy Josh Allen here, about to get ready. Warm my arm, I'm about to throw the first pitch at the Jumbo Strip game. It's gonna be fun, it's gonna be exciting. Can't wait to see how it's gonna be.
And now please welcome, coming in at 6'5", 262-pound linebacker, Josh Allen.
Ah!
51 miles an hour for a strike.
You know, I wanted to go a little faster, but, you know, I got to save my arm for, you know, Kansas City. I'm just an athletic type of guy, you know what I mean, that when the time comes, I perform, you know.
Josh Allen already showing he will be a positive impact in the community. Now let's head to the kitchen with defensive end Jajuan Taylor for this episode of Cooking with the Jags.
Welcome to Cooking with the Jaguars, fueled by Tico People's Gas. Jajuan, we're gonna do it again. You shared that wing recipe. I want to talk about something else that you like to eat at tailgating. Throw it on me.
A little bit of Bison Burgers, as you can see. I did have one big question about it, and this is off of my research off the Cooking Channel. I watch a lot of Cooking Channel, a lot of Chopped and stuff. So just watching Cooking Channel, I saw that the Bison Burgers, they can be a little dry. What have we done here to make them a little bit more juicy?
So as we're making our meat mixture, getting the seasonings mixed in, we can mix in a little butter. The key to any food is seasoning it, especially proteins, right? A lot of times, people will take that seasoning and they'll just drop it, right? Just like that. That's not what we want. We want it to cover the surface, right? When you season from afar, right? Because you were far away from the burger.
All right. When you season from afar, you will surely be a star.
All right, see, that's it. We're gonna take these. We're gonna go over to our stove top where we got a griddle going over some natural gas, and then we're gonna get them cooked down and get ready to make a burger. All right, yeah, one, woo, yeah. Oh,
One,
you made me so good. Yeah, you like it when they talk to you, right? When you hear that sizzle, that's key. Now,
talking to you.
With the workout plan, with football and everything, I mean, I must say, 2 burgers may not do it for you, right?
I might need the whole pan.
But what's it? I mean, what's your diet look like in terms of, you know, you're working out a lot, you're expending a lot of energy, you need some protein to recover.
Yeah.
So what's that look like for you?
Due to all the activity that we do, not including practice and the extra workouts that I do as well, which I work out 2-3 times a day, I mean on the off season as well, I have to have at least 5,000 calories just to keep me going. Wow. So, I mean, each one of these burgers, I'm pretty sure is probably about 1,000.
All right,
maybe.
That's 5 burgers for you, right?
5 burgers, yeah.
So next to that, we have a pan with some bacon that we've rendered down.
Okay.
And then we have some caramelized onions. Now, what's key with these caramelized onions right here, 2 natural gases, you know, we want to control that temperature up and down. If we get it too hot, then they'll burn, right? Sugar, onions are made of a lot of sugar, so we're trying to coax that sugar out. So a few more minutes on the grill, we'll get this done. We'll step back over, I'll show you how to stack it.
Download this recipe and find out more information about natural gas and available energy conservation rebates at peoplesgas.com/cooking. Up next on TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend, the keys to beating Kansas City are next.
Jaguars Weekend is presented in part by TIAA Bank, created to serve, built to perform. And Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save.
You're talking about a team that is, they have a lot of good football players, and it's not just in one room, it's all over. I think that, the reason why a lot of people have picked them to be in the Super Bowl. They have outstanding talent, and they have a lot of people that are playmakers.
Doug Rohn knows his team's going to have to slow down Kansas City's star power in order to have a chance on Sunday. We're back with Brian and John. It's no surprise leading up to this game, Jaguars are the underdogs. Should they be bothered by that?
They shouldn't be bothered, and they should be the underdogs. This is a team, Kansas City, that's coming in as a Super Bowl favorite. But I think what people are overlooking in this, if you look at the Chiefs' offense, they have incredible skill players, impact players. If you look at the numbers, I think the Jaguars have more playmakers on defense, more guys who can impact a game than the Chiefs do on offense. At the very least, it's equal. The Jaguars are set up to where their defense has to make huge plays for them to win. If they do, they can, but they have the talent to do it.
Respect is earned. Don't worry about it. Go out and beat the Chiefs, and all of a sudden, you'll find yourself being a favorite.
So we haven't seen much of the new guys, the rookies, the free agents, unless it's the third week of the preseason. Who are you excited to see on Sunday that we haven't seen much of?
Well, I think the 2 rookies on defense, Josh Allen and Quincy Williams, speed, impact, playmaking. Josh Allen we all saw against Miami. Quincy Williams, we don't know what he's going to be. Those 2 guys, I think one's a secret in Quincy, one's not, but those 2 guys could be what makes the Jaguars defense better this year.
I'll go with a less sexy position. I'll go with right tackle Jajuan Taylor. For all that Foles brings to the table, this is still a run-first football team. They want to run to the right. If Jajuan Taylor, who I think might be their best offensive lineman in terms of talent, not experience, but in terms of ability, is as good as advertised, and they can run right, it'll make Leonard Fournette's job easier. It'll set up play action for Nick Foles. I'm going to watch Taylor and see if he's as good as I think he is and as advertised.
Quickly, guys, we know that they have to slow down Kansas City offense, but it's not as easy as that. What else do they have to do to win?
Turnovers. They have to create turnovers. I don't think they're going to slow them down, but they have to get the ball back for the offense.
Don't turn the ball over. Keep the ball on offense. Convert on third down.
Sounds easy enough.
We can do it. Right?
The start of the 25th season starts Sunday against the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll see you next week right here on Jaguars Weekend.